Hello everyone, a very good morning and welcome to the daily news analysis of 21st of October 2021, and this will be presented by me Ajay Muchakurthi, and we are here on the platform of Unacademy. And here this is the YouTube channel related to the Unacademy group. And right, going forward with respect to the discussion today, right, we have some interesting topics too. But before we start, right, as you all know, what Unacademy offers you through its plus courses is that, the guidance from the top educators. You would have the test series for prelims, mains, as well as optional. You will be having a high quality reading material which would be provided directly to your home with covering the entire syllabus. They would have a dedicated doubt clearing answer writing sessions, and a very good coverage of the current affairs is something that would be provided to you, right? And most importantly, various batch courses would be started for the 21-22 as well as 2023, which have already been started yesterday, and many top educators would be taking the batches, and I'll be also a part of various batch courses that would be taken up. Now, starting today with respect to the session that we have, right, we have some interesting topics coming up, where the first topic is a very interesting thing, because India has always been in the recent past hesitant in having any kind of meeting with the top of the Taliban. But this time, in the yesterday's class, we have talked very well, where the Indian ambassador to Russia has actually made it very clear that India would be joining a particular discussion along with the foreign affairs ministers of various countries, and accordingly this has been done. So Indian team has joined a 10 nation statement where 10 countries have come together. Without any doubt, they are recognizing the new reality of Taliban. The point is very simple, that the Taliban is right now ruled by the Afghanistan is right now being ruled by the Taliban, and there is no other option for that. So when you talk about this particular situation, what is happening, right? The countries, recently 10 countries have met at basically Moscow to declare about what is happening right now. And the Indian officials also have met the Taliban deputy prime minister, and we just did not meet him, but rather we also have offered some kind of humanitarian aid. So the most important point is, for the last few months, there has been discussions going on whether India should recognize the Taliban, whether India should support the Taliban. So yes, in one perspective, India is not ready to support the Taliban because of our own concerns with respect to the drugs, with respect to the terrorism that could be emanating from here, which could impact the country. But however, right, the discussion have happened, the meeting has happened right now between the Taliban delegation headed by the Deputy Prime Minister of Afghanistan and the Joint Secretary from side of India, who would be the Joint Secretary of Pakistan, Afghanistan and Iran. So this was announced by the Taliban, and the Ministry of External Affairs did not comment on that immediately. But later on we have stated, yes, there has been a meeting happen. And India, here we are not bothered about who is ruling the Afghanistan, but we are bothered about the people of the country of Afghanistan. So as a humanitarian assistance, India would be sending a large consignment of wheat and any other aid that is needed to Afghanistan, specifically to protect the people of Afghanistan. So both the sides, it has been very clear that concerns of each others have to be taken into consideration. For example, India has some concerns, and if you really want Taliban government to be recognized by India, right, very specifically they have to make some promises that this would not happen. The concerns have to be taken care. The diplomatic and economic relations have to be taken care. Finally, India did express, providing humanitarian assistance to the Afghans. It was announced by, by this particular Taliban representative. So the special representative of India for Iran, Pakistan and Afghanistan has announced the same thing. And this is the first time that India has officially announced an aid for Afghanistan after Taliban has taken over this particular country. As I told you, India has joined 10 countries in this. So India is a signatory to the joint statement which was issued by the representatives of China, Iran, Russia, Pakistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. So they make it very clear that Taliban have to follow their commitment. They have to form an inclusive government. And their territory should not be used by the terror groups to threaten the security of the other countries. Especially the transnational drug routes have to be taken care, and they have to continue to have the friendly relations with the neighboring nations. So in the last few months, there have been discussions going on in Qatar, in Doha of Qatar. But still, this is an important, step that has been taken up by the government of India. And this Moscow meeting is a kind of negotiation that is happening with Afghanistan to finally address this problem. And US has not sent any representative to the meeting, but India did send it. So this shows very clearly about the kind of importance that we are specifically putting up here. So that is about this particular topic, right? Moving on to the next one. So yesterday in the last class we have seen that there is a particular company which is based in Europe has returned, they have taken up the candies which are given to various markets and they have actually recalled them, stating the reason that the genetically modified rice flour has been used in that. And there are people who even accused, especially the European Commission has accused that this rice has come from India. But this is a very huge setback for us, because if by chance, if it is something which has come from India, India would see a loss of 65,000 crores, because India exports 18 million tons of rice basically every year, which are valued about 65,000 crores. To almost 75 countries we do export, and if India is exporting the genetically modified rice, that's going to be a huge setback for India. But the Commerce Ministry makes it very clear. In India, there is no scope for the commercial production of genetically modified rice because we have not allowed. So the central government has now identified a Maharashtra-based exporter as a source of the broken rice. The broken rice which has been flagged by the Europe, they have identified that there's an exporter from Maharashtra. He is the one who have supplied that broken rice. But now Europe has stated that this was a rice which is basically of genetically modified rice too. But at any point of time, they are making it very clear from the side of India that there is no rice which is exported out of country which is genetically modified, because in India we don't even allow what is it called as the genetically modified rice commercial cultivation too. So there is no chance that it must have happened. And now on one side, the ministry made it very clear that we are not growing. We made it very clear, but at the same time, they also asked the Indian Agriculture Research Institute to actually do the investigation of the matter. And the director of IARI stated that what are the concerns that have been flagged. For example, European Commission stated that there has been some genetically modified rice found. So now I will ask you a simple question to them, that what genetic markers have you find in that? If you can tell us, it would be easy for us to trace from where it has come. And as I told you already, this kind of recall could have a very huge impact on the rice that is going out of India. So right now this is becoming a very huge issue, but they are stating that this is definitely not possible from the side of India. The contamination could have happened anywhere, because right from the grains which have gone from India, and in the process that they go through, they must have contaminated at any point. You cannot say that this is something which is happening and put the entire blame on India. So that is something being opposed by the government in particular. Okay. Now, moving on to the Kushinagar. Yesterday, the Kushinagar International Airport has been inaugurated in the state of UP. With this, it has become the third international airport in the state of UP. And this Kushinagar is a very important thing, because it has seen representatives from 12 countries have actually come here, including a special Sri Lankan delegation has come, which is led by a minister called Namal Rajapaksa, who himself is the son of the Prime Minister, Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa. And as I told you, that this is the third international airport in UP, and Sri Lankan Airlines flight has been the first one to land in the airport, which has carried the Buddhist monks and dignitaries. But why is this important? Right now India is now taking a path of cultural diplomacy, because this Kushinagar is a very important site for the Buddhism, because India is one such a kind of a country where most of the important sites of the Buddhism are present in India. Compared to the world, there are most of the important sites of Buddhism are present in India, but the Buddhist tourists have come to India very less. So among the most important Buddhist pilgrimages, Kushinagar is one particular place, because this is a place considered to be the place where, Gautama Buddha has attained Mahaparinirvana. That was in 483 BC. And today, this Kushinagar is identified with Kushinara. This is a capital of earlier republic called as Malla, which was a part of Shodasa Mahajanapadas. It was between 6th to the 4th centuries BC. It was a capital of Malla. And then this area has been a part of kingdom of Mauryas, Shungas, Kushans, Guptas, Harshavardhana and also Palas. But this has been continued at least till 12th century. And when the first excavations have been carried out here, they have unearthed a main stupa and 6-meter long statue of reclining Buddha who would be reclining like this in the year 1876. And this is one of the very few places in India where Buddha has been found in a reclining form. Very, very, very important thing to be remembered for the prelims. As I told you that Kushinagar, the most important point is, according to the 2011 census, the entire district of Kushinagar has a population of 35.64 lakh, but of them only 4,619 people are Buddhist. So this is something which we have. And when you talk about the Buddhist tourism sites in India, the Ministry of Tourism has announced the Buddhist circuit as a country's first transnational tourism circuit, which has covered Nepal and Sri Lanka also along with India. But now 7 out of 8 main Buddhist sites are present in India, but not even 1% of the Buddhist pilgrims in the world have come to this particular place, according to the former Minister for Tourism and Culture. So in India, we do have a lot of sites, be it Bodh Gaya, Vaishali, Rajgir, Kushinagar, Sarnath, Shravasti. Apart from this, you have Lumbini in Nepal. So as we know that Lord Buddha was born as Siddhartha Gautama in 563 BC in Lumbini. And after that, he stayed with their family till the age of 29. After that, he left. He left to their parents and everything. And finally, he became ascetic. And we know what happened after that. All 8 sites, of all these 8 sites, just one, Lumbini is in Nepal, remaining all are present in India. He attained enlightenment under Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya. He gave his first sermon at Sarnath near Varanasi. He taught in the area of Rajgir, where the king of Magadha called Bimbisara has built a first forest monastery for him. Then, he lived the largest part of his life as the Buddha in Shravasti, and he delivered his last sermon in Vaishali. So these are the different sites that have been there, but unfortunately there are some issues that have been going on. We were unable to come with a proper understanding and all. That continued to be one of the biggest problem here. Okay, so right now Indian government wants to address this problem. So they want to create an awareness. There is an absence of tourist infrastructure is a major reason why India losing a lot compared to Southeast Asian nations like Indonesia and Thailand. So they have a world-class facilities. If you can do the same, yes, there is a great possibility, because religiously India is an important place for the Buddhism. So that could boost the revenue, that could also generate the employment too. So there is already a Buddhist circuit tourist train is also there, which is covering all destinations in 14 days. There are helicopter service and more airports are also being brought up. So India is trying its best, to show itself as an original center of Buddhism, where China has been making a lot of claims, but they were not true. But right from the announcement of Buddhist circuit in 2016, a total of 343 crores has been sanctioned for this under various schemes, and which 278 crores has already been released for this. This is something which they are talking about, a very, very, very important thing to know about the importance of the site called Kushinagar. Okay, so that is about this particular topic. Now, so the next one is that there is an assessment report has come, the Global Threat Assessment Report of 2021. So this report was given by an alliance called as We Protect Global Alliance. So they stated that COVID-19 has contributed to an increase in the child sexual exploitation and also the abuse online. This is again a serious thing that we have to focus on. They said very clearly that COVID-19 is something which has actually affected us a lot. right? Now, the most important point is it is the child sexual exploitation, and it is about the, we could say, the abuse that is happening online is one of the biggest problem during the COVID-19. And this We Protect Global Alliance is a global movement that is taken up of more than 200 governments, private sector, civil society, all have come together in a response to a child sexual exploitation and abuse online. So the report has taken the data from different sources, from different international studies, and now they stated that in the last 2 years, they have taken into consideration the child sexual exploitation and all. So they say this child sexual abuse has been a most underfunded issue. So we need to look into this because there has been the 77% increase in the child self-generated sexual material. So this needs to be taken care. They say that's it, nothing much to be important. Now, the next topic, in the recent past, there has been a discussion started. Government some time ago, the BSF's limit has been enhanced in the states of, Punjab, in the state of West Bengal and something like this. And when this was done, especially when Punjab and West Bengal, everything have been changed here in this particular case, one thing has to be identified here about what is that particular change that happened. Here they have to focus on that. So as the change has happened now, the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Home Affairs, which is headed by a Congress leader called Anand Sharma, they have decided to study the border management. So as part of the study of border management, they will now also focus on extension of the jurisdiction of BSF. Up to 50 kilometers, how did you do that? In Punjab, West Bengal and Assam, they would like to study that. And now, the panel has already met to discuss this agenda, and other than the pending issues, they have also added the border management to the list. So they would try to involve central armed police forces and all too. And now the point to be understood, though the BSF range must have increased, but it does not have policing powers. Generally, if someone is arrested, if someone is apprehended, what it will do is it will just do a preliminary questioning. If there is any consignment is there, they will seize a consignment or a suspect, whoever are there. All these would be given to the local police within 24 hours. And West Bengal, when you talk about, has a range of 2,216 kilometers of border with Bangladesh, and the party in power says that the extension of jurisdiction will bring nearly 1/3 of the state's territory, 1/3 of the territory of a state, almost will be coming under the control of the border security force. And out of 23, nearly 10 districts would be affected out of 23. So this would have an impact on 21 Lok Sabha constituencies, which may have a larger political implications according to them. So they are opposing this particular thing. So that's now a kind of issue that would be taken up. Now, the next one we have is, every one of us, the common man, are suffering in the country. And one of the common reasons is because of the high oil prices. Now, the OPEC plus countries are not ready to increase the supply on one side. So when they are not ready to increase the supply, the demand is more. As the demand is more, now what happens here? As the demand is more, the amount of these particular things, with respect to, we could say, as the demand is more coming up here, the point that we have to understand here, what would happen here is very simple. The price of the oil is going up as day by day. As the price of oil goes up, now the transportation is dependent on it. So as a result of it, what happens here is very clear that this would lead to such kind of a complication where, the entire trade related things and everything would also be affected. The price of everything would go rise, which will result in inflation. So India, which is the world's third largest energy consumer, has warned very clearly that the high oil prices, if they are continued like this, the global economic recovery will not happen. They made it very clear to Saudi Arabia and other OPEC nations that we need to work towards an affordable and reliable supplies. Day by day, the petroleum is increasing a lot. If this is like this, the global economy would be definitely undermined. This is something which the petroleum minister has made very clear at the India Energy Forum. And demand has been recovered, vaccination has been increasing. So where the benchmark crude price has gone almost $84, I'm sorry. and it was in April, it was at crashed down to $19. So this is basically a very serious form, and India's import bill has also increased, from $8.8 billion to almost $24 billion because of the increase in the global oil prices. So we need to be very clear. India want an access to a reliable, affordable and sustainable one, and if that doesn't happen, this would have an impact on us, they say. So they already raised the matter with Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, US, Russia and Bahrain. And India is important for the world. And India, for 85% of our oil, we need imports. That is something which we have. And the UAE has promised very specifically that they would ensure a proper energy supplies be there to India, and energy demand is too much, and he accepts that, and they would be ensuring that the world will understand the concerns of India, and they will definitely ensure the access would be provided to the proper amount of oil that India is needing. So that is what all we have for today. So with this, we'll end the session of 21st of October 2021. And guys, if anyone is interested in Unacademy, plus subscription, you can join using the code, which is very specifically, one second, which is Ajay IAS 10. You can use this particular code to join the Unacademy plus subscription. That is all we have for the day, and I'll see you all again tomorrow at the same time. Till then, everyone, take care, have a great day, and Jai Hind.